What's up, Kurt family? In this video, I'm going to be talking about my top 3 stocks for May. Now, this video is inspired by Jeremy from the Financial Channel on YouTube. If you look at my past 2 videos, I believe you'll see a video of me doing my top 3 YouTubers, and he was on that list. Alright, so let's get into this. So, coming in at number 3, we have Facebook. Now, Facebook is going to release their earnings later on next month. I believe the first week of next month, May 3rd, I believe, May 2nd or 3rd. When it comes to revenue, Facebook is dominating. $27 billion in 2016, 2015, $17 billion, almost 18. In 2014, they have $12 billion. So you can see the growth between 2016 and 2015 alone of 54%. That is crazy. And then you have the gross of 23 billion. You have gross profit in 2015 of 15 billion. 2014, 10 billion. So you can see gradually each year it's increasing. And then you look at the net income, which of course is one of the most important things. Net income, $10 billion in 2016. 2015, $3 billion. In 2014, $2 billion. So it was a huge jump between 2016 and 2015. This is insane. Oh my gosh. And earnings per share, 2014 was $1.10. 2015 was $1.29. And 2016, $3.49. So we can see here, Facebook is essentially a monster. A monster. A freaking monster. And then looking here at the balance sheet, you can see they have a phenomenal balance sheet. 2014, they had $2 billion. In 2015, they had $2.4 billion. In 2016, they have $5.4 billion in cash. Short-term investments, you can see 2016, they had $22 billion. In 2015, they had $14 billion. 2014, they had $6 billion. And if you look at long-term debt, you see 0 long-term and short-term debt, which I love companies that have 0 debt. I love it. And total equity, you can see $59 billion. Facebook, again, is a monster, simply put. One of the reasons why I put Facebook on the list is because of the brand recognition. It's one of the leaders in social media. From Instagram to WhatsApp to the Messenger app. Facebook is leading and dominating. And with the recent shenanigans with Facebook and Snapchat, with Facebook essentially copying features of Snapchat, you can see that Facebook is here to compete, and they're willing to do whatever it takes in order to do so that another social media company would not come and steal a piece of their cake, a piece of the share. Now, some things I have written down here that I like about Facebook is they're dabbling in the AR and giving people more of a reason to use Facebook. AR essentially is augmented reality. And I didn't like it at first, but now I do. The portion I'm talking about is them, I wouldn't say copying Snapchat, I'll say being inspired by Snapchat. Because Facebook is starting to turn to Snapchat on steroids. Like, personally, I enjoy Instagram stories rather than Snapchat. And one of the main reasons for that is because there's more attention on Instagram stories. You don't have to be friends with someone in order to see their story. You could see anyone's story, right? If you're into fitness, you could see a random fitness model's stories. If you're into food, you could see a chef's stories, right? You could see Kim Kardashian stories. You don't necessarily have to be a friend of a particular person, which means you're able to discover new people and be inspired by new people. I didn't realize this, but WhatsApp, that's owned by Facebook, doesn't generate any revenue. And that is a huge opportunity for Facebook as well. Once they start generating revenue for WhatsApp, that is going to go tremendously towards revenue. And then there's also an opportunity in developing countries like India or West Africa that are just starting to come into the internet and have and then there's opportunity in developing countries like India and West Africa, for example, right? Where people are just starting to go into the internet. It becomes a huge opportunity for Facebook to get a hold of those users and bring them to their platform. And another thing I want to mention is that ads on Facebook are fairly cheap right now, but they will not be like that forever. They will not be like that forever. Eventually, billboards will eventually phase out as they are now, and Facebook ads will start to increase in price, which of course, again, will add revenue to the bottom line of Facebook. So my stock of choice, number 2, is GoPro. Now, I have to admit, I didn't like GoPro so much when I was younger in university because I was thinking, it's a camera. What's so special about a camera? There's Sony, there's Kodak, there's so many other camera companies. What's so special? So I started doing my research into GoPro, and I realized that it's an action camera and with huge brand recognition. And they continuously try to innovate in that space. So MPD Group, which is essentially a research firm, conducted a study and said that for Q1, quarter 1, GoPro had the top 3 out of 5 top items in the digital imaging category. So not just 1, but 3 products. That is amazing, that's outstanding. And again, that tells me that GoPro has huge brand recognition and that they're doing something right. Now recently, GoPro mentioned that they're coming out with a Fusion Pilot, which is essentially another camera that's going to be on sale later on this year, I believe. And before they do so, they're putting it into a pilot program where they're going to put it into the hands of content creators. And essentially, what's so special about this camera is that it's able to film in virtual reality. And not just that, it's able to film in virtual reality, but also able to film in non-virtual reality. And also able to take pictures, still pictures. And what I like about it is that it's going to bring eyeballs to the camera. When you put it in the hands of big YouTube content creators, it's going to generate a lot of buzz around that item, especially when that content creator is using it for crazy augmented reality, virtual reality, videos. It's going to be insane. And I believe it's going to have like a 360 view as well. Another thing I like about GoPro is that they introduced a trade-up program, which essentially means that once you bring an old GoPro camera in, you get a discount on a new GoPro camera. So many people that are satisfied with their old camera that maybe wouldn't have thought about getting a new one can easily do so. It gives them more options. Smartphone provider or manufacturer, I believe, more in the Asian market called Hawaii, I believe, will have GoPro's app installed on their phone. So essentially when you purchase the phone, the GoPro app will automatically be there, which essentially will bring more brand recognition to GoPro. And GoPro also mentioned in the last quarter that their active users for their mobile editing app is up 160% in users. That is crazy. And one of the main things that has me hooked on GoPro is that they have 0 long-term debt and 0 short-term debt. 0 debt in a billion-dollar company is not necessarily the average, it's not necessarily the norm, right? I mean, I believe Chipotle is the same. But there are many companies out there that are not like that. And I love that they're not relying on external forces in order to create research and development, to create new products, and to be innovative. So here we see for revenues, there was a change of 19% because revenues increased by 219 million. And you could also see there was a change in operating expenses because they went down by 51 million. And then we have net loss. Overall, GoPro had a net loss of 44 cents per share. Analysts expected 53 cents, so they beat analysts' expectations. And one thing I should mention as well is that in the non-US markets, sales were up, or revenues were up by 60%. Revenues in Japan alone were up 83%, and in China alone, year over year, 59%, which is amazing. And I can imagine the more opportunity that GoPro has to penetrate in these markets. Number one stock that I'm interested in for May is Under Armour. I believe this company is really undervalued at the moment. And it's in for a turnaround as well, just like GoPro. Well, for last quarter, they beat analyst estimates by 3 cents, earnings per share. And they also beat analyst revenue expectations. They beat it by 10 million. What I like about Under Armour is the long-time brand strategy that they're creating is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. They supply footwear and gloves to NFL. They will supply clothing to the major baseball league. They have many athletes under their belts, like we know already Tom Brady, we know Steph Curry. An interesting story actually. I believe a few days ago or last week when I was looking on Instagram, I was under Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's page, and he mentioned that he was thanking his fans for purchasing his shoes because they were sold out again, and they were a relaunch of his shoes. And the second time around for the relaunch, it sold out. That's amazing. And given that Under Armour's shoe section our footwear category is not nearly as big as Nike or Adidas, that's amazing because that tells me that there's a great opportunity for it to grow. Another huge opportunity is international. Under Armour is not necessarily a big, huge player yet internationally, which is another opportunity. Especially given that the US market or North American market in general is going through a little slump with the retailers because there are a lot of retailers that are likely going to head into bankruptcy because you have big competitors like Amazon eating them alive. So right off the bat, you could see that for North America, that there was a negative change in sales for North America. They went down by 1%. But internationally, you could see that steadily it's increasing. For EMEA, which essentially is European, the Middle East, and Africa, it increased by 52% in Asia Pacific. Asia Pacific increased by 60%. Latin America increased to 30.5%. This is amazing. And I believe Under Armour will continue to penetrate in that area in order to increase revenues. So those are my top 3 stocks for the month of May. Let me know your top 3 stocks. Do they differ from mine? Are they the same as mine? My channel is about personal development and personal finance. Join me along my journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.